and we are going to be talking about developing a brand identity that resonates with your client.
I would say the number one would be a website.
Okay.
And it does not need to be a massive, robust website.
It doesn't have to be built out, right? Like you can use
I mean, it can be a landing page website, which is just a one-page website that has your information. And I think at the end of the day, if people hear about your business these days, the first thing that people are going to do is they're going to like try to find you online.
Yeah.
And Google My Business is one way. I would say that that might be one of my top ones if you're like an in-person clinic. If we're talking private practice here though, but of course this varies, you know, depending on what industry you're doing. But yeah, without a website, I do think that you really lose that trust factor. You lose that opportunity to share about yourself in your own words because you don't know how they came to. And you also lose that opportunity to give them something to do, which is to call you to book a screening or whatever it is. So without a website, I think it can be really difficult to gain traction. You know, if someone shares your name, if they say, oh yeah, we had like a great speech therapist, you know, her name's Vanita and her business is like Vanita Speech Therapy. They're not going to be like, oh, and her phone number is like, no, you know, no one is going to have that information on hand. So people want to be able to jot it down. And then later they're going to Google it or they're going to type in www.Vanita Speech Therapy. So I would say a website is the number one. At one point I would have probably put Facebook up there too, but being used less and less these days. And again, we'll kind of talk about that when we talk about like our target markets. So if you think Facebook's where your target market's hanging out, then by all means, but it may not be.
Okay. So the website. And then number 2 and 3, any other?
It's hard because I think it just varies so much.
Depends.
It depends. It depends on your industry. I mean, if we're talking strictly private practice, sometimes on the ground marketing is really effective for private practices. You know, word of mouth with local businesses where those families hang out. But again, this is private practice. It just totally depends on what your industry is. But I think there are pretty few industries where the website to me would not be your number one.
Yeah. Good answer. I think that's good. I think that might have been surprising for people because I'm sure they were thinking logo, colors. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, you can still have, if you have a business name, you really truly don't need a logo. The rest can come. You can